Hello, my fellow patriots, and welcome to another edition of Mr. Campbell's Rambles. And today I want to talk about dress code and specifically a slight change that we'll be making to next year's BCS dress code. You know, if I were to ask 50 different people to give me what they feel our dress code should be, I think I would probably get 50 different responses because people have a wide array of opinions on this subject, and some people have some very strongly held opinions on this subject. I realize that. So it leads me to ask the question, why do we have a dress code at Bethesda in the first place? I've come up with a list of 5 reasons. This is not an exhaustive list, but this is just a few of the reasons why we have a dress code. Number 1 is to prepare students for success in the real world. Wherever they go to work, our students are going to likely be subject to some kind of dress code. If they're in the construction industry, then they're going to have to wear steel-toed boots and a hard hat and a safety vest on the job site. If they're an attorney in the courtroom, they're going to have to wear a coat and tie, and everything in between. If they're a professional athlete or an airline pilot, they're going to have some kind of uniform that they're expected to wear. So we're helping to prepare them for the real world. Number 2, academic success. There have been some studies that show that when students dress up, as opposed to dressing down, they tend to perform better on tests and at school. Thirdly, we just want them to look nice and dress for the appropriate occasion. You know, you dress one way to go to a wedding or a funeral or a prom. You dress a different way to go to a picnic or a basketball game. Going to school, I would say, is somewhere in the middle. And we want students to dress in an appropriate way for the kind of activity and venue that they are involved in. Number 4, modesty. We want our students to dress in a modest way. And then lastly, I would say, because we are a Christian school, we want to give attention to the way we dress because God cares about how we dress. You know, I've heard people say before, God just cares about your heart. He doesn't care about the outer appearance, quoting from Samuel. But that is actually not the case. If you read the entirety of Scripture, you will find that in both the Old Testament and New Testament, to both men and women, God gives a lot of instruction about what his people should wear, what they should not wear, how they should groom themselves, etc., especially to the priests. But even to the rest of the people, there were lots of instructions given, and not all of that is applicable to us today, but it does indicate that God cares how we present ourselves to the world in our physical appearance. And so those are some of the reasons why we have a dress code. At Bethesda, we have striven to come up with a dress code that balances between looking nice, having a certain degree of professionalism, sort of a business casual look, but also at the same time giving a broad array of choice in clothing options. And actually, we've discovered that the broad array that we have allowed is a little too broad in that it's becoming difficult for our teachers and staff to enforce sometimes. So we're going to make a little tweak that's going to, number 1, up the level of professionalism a little bit at the school while simultaneously making the dress code a little simpler so that it's a little easier to enforce. In making this tweak, we considered several options. One was we talked about the possibility of going with uniforms. And then we talked about the possibility of requiring everyone to wear a shirt that has a collar. We decided against both of those options and really decided that we like our dress code as it is, but want to make one little tweak to it, and here it is. We are going to, next year, reserve BCS Spirit wear t-shirts for Fridays only. It'll be sort of a nice treat for a casual dress down Friday type of thing. But Monday to Thursday, we'd like our students to wear something other than a t-shirt to school. We think it would just look a little nicer and make it a little simpler for all of us. That still leaves a wide array of clothing to choose from Monday to Thursday. You can wear a collared shirt, button-down polo. You can wear a sweater. You can wear a sweatshirt. You can wear a hoodie. You can wear a Henley. If you need to know what a Henley is, you can Google it. Or if you're a girl, you can wear a nice collarless blouse with an elevated neckline. So I will send you a new version of next year's dress code with these edits. That's the main change, is about the restricting BCS Spirit wear t-shirts to Fridays only. There's a couple of little other wording changes just to make some clarifications, but please read it. Hopefully it will be well received. And if you have questions, please feel free to reach out to someone in administration. And as always, may He be at the center of Bethesda.